Today I thought we would do something pretty casual. I have wanted to work on my penmanship for a long time, and I don't always have the best handwriting, so I thought that it would be fun to kind of start with the basics and try to get better. I really like the idea of writing letters and cards to people, and it's something that I try to practice, and then sometimes I stop. I feel like I don't have time for it, or I forget, or whatever. But I've wanted really to get back into it lately, especially since I've had a lot of thank you cards to send and things like that. And so I thought it would be nice to work on my handwriting. And so I thought maybe we could do that together. So I have some fresh pencils, and very little accelerates me more than fresh school supplies. I was one of those kids who really looked forward to back to school, so getting nice new office supplies, or I still think of them as school supplies, it excites me. These are pastel though. They're pastel pencils. I like to have most things in pastel if I can. Or as my son says, he says pastel, 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 which is kind of a nice way to say it. I actually like it better, pastel, pastel. So these are apparently the world's best pencil, according to themselves. So, but it says sharpens easily, writes smoothly, erases cleanly, so we'll put that to the test. Many of you might point out that for the kind of lettering we're going to be working on today, ideally you wouldn't use the pencils. You would use a certain kind of felted pen or something that you could apply pressure on the downstrokes, I believe. However, I'm so much of a sort of calligraphy lettering neophyte that I want to begin with pencils, because I feel that by beginning with pencils I will sort of be able to get the form of the letter first, and then I'll come back through the workbook with a pen, and that way I can then work on the pressure and the thickening of the strokes later once I have the form down, so kind of as a way for me to go slow. And also I really love the sound of a pencil writing on smooth paper. It's just a touch to make. I really love the sound of a pencil writing on smooth paper. It's such a pretty sound. It's kind of a nice crisp sound for a fall. It has a bit of a crunch to it. So anyway, I got this lettering book. It says Modern Calligraphy and Hand Lettering for Beginners. And so I think it should be good and fun. And what I'm going to do today is just start, and like I said, I'll start by just using pencils, because even though I studied typography in college, I know some things about the forms of letters and the parts of letters and things like that. I just don't have experience with actually making them look nice. So I'm going to pop the pencils open and try not to make a lot of noise doing that. So let's hold it kind of like far away from the mic. Okay. And then we could use blue, pink, purple. There's this pretty lilac color. There's another kind of cerulean. My favorite color is blue, but I really enjoy like a lilac color a lot, or just a pop, just like a pop of color. So I think I'm gonna try the Dixon Ticonderoga HB2 Soft in lilac. Okay. So, and if there's pencil snobs out there, please, I want to hear you in the comments going off, pop off about about pencils. Which are the best? Which are the worst? I need to know. Okay, so I'm going to open it up, and I want to start at the beginning. Feels right. But I think I can skip. Let's see, so pretty simple lettering, modern calligraphy, and hand lettering for beginners. Okay. Just talks a little bit about hand lettering. It's printed really nicely. It's pretty. Has peonies everywhere. I like peonies a lot. I'll just cut out any of the. It's kind of loud when the paper is folded over, so if there's any strange transitions, I'm just going to cut out any extra loud noise it makes. So it talks about tools, pencils, paper, pens. This is nice. It talks about some of the terminology of what I would call type, but just of lettering. So actually, if you're interested, it talks about downstroke, upstroke, ascender. So ascenders are the parts of the letter that go up. Here it says the letter that extends above the mean line, i.e. the top portion of like a T going up. The ascenders reach up, and then the descenders are the ones that fall below. It's called the baseline. Baseline, ascender line, X height, which is how high a lowercase letter is. Flourish, serif, sans serif, crossbar, waistline, weight, letter form, stroke, things like that. So it gives you some really nice terminology, which is fun. My husband and I had our first real date after realizing that we both had the exact same elements of typographical style by Robert Bringhurst on our coffee tables in our apartments, just completely by chance. And then we watched, what was the movie? What was that movie? Oh yeah, Helvetica. We watched the movie Helvetica, or the documentary, which is great. I haven't seen it in so many years now, but Helvetica is good. So anyway, type is always fun to talk about, right? Brings people together. So here it talks about technique, upstroke, downstroke, pressure. And we're just gonna get right into it, because that's the kind of people we are. We're folks of action. Okay, so these are sort of like laying the foundation. So it says to start with upstrokes. So it says let's start with some upstrokes. Upstrokes. Okay, place the tip of your pen or pencil on the baseline and move upward toward the ascender line, applying little to no pressure at all, letting the tip of the pen do the work for you. Try making a series of these strokes that all look alike. Okay, and I think we might have Etienne join us for this. Nope, he's going in the closet, so sorry about that. Okay, so like that. There. And these are kind of having you do slightly slanted strokes. I think the idea is, what is it, sweetie? No, you can come here if you want to. I think the idea is just to get some consistency in each stroke, which is really good. Yeah, you can come up, Eddie. You might also hear shade. You might also hear outside some buzzing. Actually, it probably doesn't. It probably sounds like mechanical buzzing, but it's not. It's cicadas. They're, yes, I'm excited about it too, I guess. I think cicadas can be really, I think they're really cute. I like how they sort of burrow into the mesquite trees. They just kind of latch on. They're very cool. But then there's the time of year when their carcasses are kind of all over the tree trunks, which is weird. Husks, I should say husks, not carcasses, husks. Sorry, you guys came to relax, not to talk about carcasses. Gosh. Husks. Okay, husks. I'm talking about husks, not carcasses. Anyway, I like cicadas. They can get quite loud, but these ones out here are really considerate as far as cicadas go. They're good people, really good neighbors. Okay, so now we're going to do downstrokes. So start with the tip of your pen at the ascender line and pull the pen toward your body while adding pressure. Follow along the angle guidelines and focus on maintaining a consistent amount of pressure. Try making a series of these strokes that all look alike. So I am going to practice with a little more pressure, even though with the pencil it will make, the same impression. But just to get the feel. Like that. And then I know I'm going to come back eventually with the pen, and that way I kind of use the workbook twice, 2 for 1. So, however, maybe I wonder if I should space these a little further apart since they require more pressure, like that one, like a little bit further. Yeah, that's a little better. It's so nice to have just something to focus on. It feels tactile. I still write almost everything I can by hand, so I write out lists, I write out notes. I even really still like to write a grocery list on paper if I can, because I find it much more convenient than having to check your phone, while you shop. So I really like when you find abandoned grocery lists, with grocery store. You get this little still life, almost like a literary still life into someone else's life, because it's just all written down what they need and what they want on any given day. It's very cool. Okay, so the U shape is next. So it says to bring your downstroke, applying pressure. So it's going to be like a U. You guys know what a U is, ostensibly, right? Of course. So applying pressure as you bring the pen toward your body. Start releasing the pressure when you get about 3/4 of the way through your downstroke. It's kind of like racing, like a race car. And then continue releasing pressure as you round the curve and continue into your upstroke. The upstroke and downstroke should be parallel, and practice a series of these, focusing on keeping an equal distance between the upstrokes and the downstrokes. Okay, so I'm gonna go like oops. Went way under the line for that. They kind of makes a little swoop, little swooping, swoop sound. Some more pressure here. Oops. And then release the pressure past the apex or something. I don't know. Okay, so those are my U's. And then the N shape is just the opposite of the U shape. So begin your upstroke with light pressure, and then as you get to the tip top of your curve, begin adding pressure to create your downstroke, just as in the U shape. Focus on keeping your upstroke and downstroke parallel. And with an equal distance between upstrokes and downstrokes, try and make your top curve mimic the same shape, the bottom curve of your U shapes. Okay, so this is sort of like the opposite. So light pressure here, and then a little more pressure down. Okay, so starting with light pressure, and then more pressure going down. Okay. I'm sure there are a lot of you out there who are good at this. So please feel free to chime in with any sorry, these made me want to swoop too. With any helpful advice or resources or anything. Like that. Am I slanting these right? Yeah, a little bit forward. When I was a kid, I got into, what did I call it? Graphology, or the study of handwriting, where they think it reveals things about people's personalities and things like that. Which, I don't think we can call a hard science, but when I was a kid, I thought it was fun. And I read that if you have a forward slant in your handwriting, you're naturally sort of like forward thinking or optimistic or whatever. Like I said, I don't necessarily subscribe to that now, but I think it's, yeah, I remember like what I would analyze my friend's handwriting like a psychic friend or something, prognosticate about their future or whatever based on their handwriting. So, okay. Now we're working on the S shape, similar to the U shape. The S shape begins with applying pressure on a downstroke. Release pressure as you move upward, then apply pressure once more to create your final downstroke. The goal here is to create the same distance between the first downstroke and middle upstroke and the final downstroke and middle upstroke. Pressure changes are marked by black arrows. Okay. I wrote my S's upside down for about 3 decades. Actually, I honestly still, a lot of times, if I'm just trying to write quickly, or if no one's watching, I'm really serious. If no one's watching, I'll write S's my old way, which is upside down. Like I'm being naughty or something, like, oh, okay, I'm getting away with it. But if someone's watching me, I write my S the right way now, because I've been amazed at the number of people who give me grief about it. Oh, did you know you write your S's upside down? Oh, yeah. I don't know why that got Midwestern. Oh, do you want some hot dish with the... Sorry. Okay, so now we're doing the J shape. So start with a thick downstroke and slowly start to release pressure as you reach that feels kind of weird. Okay, so heavy downstroke and release like that. Transition into your curve with a thin upstroke, creating a descender loop. Okay, so descender loops all the way and then touches just above baseline, I think. So attempt to create a similar loop size loop between each of your shapes. Okay, so try to make the right loop that's consistent, like a nice consistent loop without line loops. Kind of making these look like music notes. Definitely need more work with this one. Like that. I think I'm holding the pencil too tightly too. I'm really like gripping it. Probably loosen up my grip a little. Okay, gonna loosen. Just kind of like relax, like loosen my hand up a little. Do you ever get that way where your hands just, you realize you're gripping your apparatus really tightly? Your writing implement, I guess. I knew someone who was really precise at that. You call it an implement, not a tool. It's an implement. Okay, so, okay, back to the J's. Oops. Well, that one's just awful. There's a reason that I don't have the camera aimed down on this sheet, because you guys would be appalled. I'm practicing J's, and J is a really important letter for me. It's kind of silly, but I think most of the most important men in my life have had a J at the beginning of their name. Starting with my dad was named Joe. Both my grandfathers were named Joe. I had two uncles who both passed away young, who were both wonderful people. They were both Jim. And even today, the most, J, the letter still is the letter of very, very important people to me. So I should be able to draw it well. I can't. So I really need to work on that one. Okay. Now we're going to try the C shape. So that should be simple, right? It says this shape is formed by a combination of two upstrokes and one downstroke. It can be tricky to get a consistent downstroke wave in this shape, so remember to take it slow as you are starting out. Be mindful of your 45-degree angle! Exclamation point. So very, very important, I guess. Pressure changes are marked by black arrows in that example. Okay, so why they're showing both ways? Okay, this is tricky because the downstroke weight thickens up right in the middle. I know. Do you want to come say hi? I know. We'll see is for cat. I know. Hi. Some of you guys know it's Tian. He's my little kitty. He's such a good boy too. He's such a good boy. Oh, I don't know if it's possible. I was gonna say, if you guys can, I would love to see pictures of your own pets. in the comments, I don't know. I'm 95 years old. I don't. I'm like, can you do that on YouTube? You can put reaction gifs. So yeah, I said it. GIF. Anyway, if you can put pictures of your pets, I love to see animals. I love to see your pets. Etienne's such a good boy. We, I think I've mentioned, moved a fair distance a couple of years ago, and he was such a trooper too. He came all the way down in the car. Yeah. Hang on. I know. He's very amorous right now. Okay. I know you want to be in my lap. You be in my lap in just a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to do the O shape, Etienne, okay? The O shape. Which shouldn't be difficult, but I think it kind of is, because I think you have to do it just like this. See, you have a short upstroke. It says move into your downstroke, then back up into another upstroke, and then final upstroke. Move past your starting point to be sure you create a complete circle. Focus on keeping your counter space consistent, just the space within the kind of frame. Pressure changes are marked by blood. Okay, so that means that just like this C, I think you put the most pressure kind of as you come down, and then release the pressure. So pressure coming down, release the pressure. Okay, so pressure on the way down, release the pressure, pressure, release the pressure, pressure, release the pressure, pressure, Mm-hmm. I know. Okay, so that's the whole laying the foundation page. We did it. Yeah. Okay, so let's try some actual letters, I think. So I'm gonna skip to the letters here. Okay. Can you modulate your just a little? Okay. So this is the wisteria. I guess is this alphabet or this typeface here. It says pen recommendation, micron or similar L2 pen. So we're gonna break the rules a little there. But otherwise, we're gonna give this a try. This is pretty, and this looks like something that you could use for like a casual or kind of semi-formal occasion. I could see if you were having maybe like a garden event or something like that. This could be fun for that. It's really pretty, but it has a lot of personality in it. So, okay. So for this one, it's going to show. I'm actually going to start by tracing them. So I like to do that so I kind of get the muscle memory for it. So I'm going to go up, down. Etienne's looking at my nightstand. You can see some of the little things there. I have, let's see, what's on the nightstand? One thing is my son took like a picture of himself, like his first selfie with not a Polaroid, but one of those Instax cameras. And I found it and I thought it was the cutest thing, so I got a little frame for it. So that's there. And he made me a little Eiffel Tower. You can see there. He loves the Eiffel Tower. He's very into architectural landmarks and he tries to build them. I think right now it's been the Burj Khalifa he's been trying to build a lot of, but yeah, so he made me a little Eiffel Tower, and then you might see a jar with colored water and stuff. He made me a potion to get better. So sweet. Such an incredible little person. And he went out and picked and foraged little flowers and herbs from the herb garden and from our garden, and put a bunch of stuff in a potion to make me feel better. So I keep it by my nightstand. I swear it works too. Sometimes if I start to, get like a fever spike or something like that, he'll come and he'll say, "Mama, just hold the potion." And I say, "Oh, right." Yeah, and I do. And honestly, it's magical. Love is magical. And then hey guys, sorry I ran out of space on my disk for a minute, so it stopped recording on me. I need to get some sort of storage drive. Anyway, so oh yeah, my unicorn lamp, though, I've had forever. It's for kids, but it's also for me. I have one on the other side too. You just can't see it right now, but try to keep it classy and magical. Classical? That's already a word, so it's not going to work as a portmanteau, is it? No, it is not. Okay, I have my first complaint. It is difficult to write with this is like a nice binding, but it's difficult to write when my wrist gets close to it. I'm sure left-handed people have the same thing on the other hand all the time. So B goes down. These ones are gonna take me a good long while to get good at because they're very pretty and ornate, so I am glad that I can go over them with pen. Like that. Around. And shoot back up. Those aren't looking. Let's see. I think it was better to begin with. Do you do that where you do something really well the first time, and then you overthink it afterward, and you sort of get worse or make it worse? I feel like I do that a lot. I think I do that with my hair and makeup too. I wonder if anyone else can relate to that. If you wear makeup or do anything special with your hair, you get to a point where you're like, oh, it's almost the way I want it, and then you're like, I'm just gonna add this one little thing or do this one little thing, and then it's like, oh no, it's all wrong now, I overdid it, it was better before, or whatever. I always feel like I'm doing that. maybe I should have more confidence or something. I think it would be most delightful to have a quill, and a little inkwell, because I love that dipping the tip into the inkwell, that makes that little, like, kind of like, as it goes in or whatever. That's not a great impersonation of it. Like a little, just like you tap it a little, but it's more of a clink, isn't it? It's kind of higher pitched. Anyway, I'm not going to replicate it. Clearly, I lack the talent. That's a talent I do admire, though. Like was it Police Academy? Where the guy could imitate all the sounds and things. People who can do cool things with their voices, I think, are really neat. I used to game with a guy who could do a really, really solid Chewbacca. I know that sounds boring, but it was not. It was sincerely incredible. And he could do that predator sound. When the predator is like clicking, he could do that sound so well too. What a marvel. What a gentleman. I hope he's done great things with his life. I mean, most assuredly, yes. Sometimes I'll start to get it right, and then there, that one's kind of okay. Passable. Serviceable. I'm wondering if I saw my little versions of these D's, though, would I think that they actually look like the letter D? I don't know. My grandmother had a really lovely, very scripty, sort of florid handwriting. It was kind of a Danielian, except fancier, I guess, and it was so pretty, but it was very difficult to read. I sort of started to almost need to make a cipher sometimes when I would read her letters and notes, which were so precious to me. She was such a lovely, wonderful woman, and she took such good care of me always. And her letters and her notes, I loved them. They were so beautiful, but it definitely had to kind of scrape together. Okay, that's the A. That's the D. That's the F. Because they were, they were of another time when people actually wrote all the time and everyone sort of had developed lovely handwriting with lovely personality. I understand why most of us don't today. Most of us don't have a lot of occasion to actually write with our hands. I don't think it's one of those things that's indicative of the fall of civilization or laziness these days. It's just a different world. But maybe that's one of the things that makes the pursuit of trying to have nice handwriting so sort of fun. It feels, I'm always attracted to the slower kind of old world aesthetic to certain things. Not everything, not all the time, but I probably romanticize some of it too much too. We're very lucky to have the convenience we have. Speaking of lucky, first of all, actually, I heard the air conditioning come on. Sorry if that's loud at all. I tried to set it for very, very high so it wouldn't come on. I almost always turn it off for recording. When it gets to be more than 110 degrees outside, it's sort of, I don't want UTN or anything to get too hot. And it's, I don't know, it's in the 110s today. Not too bad, but not cozy weather for, I don't know, going hiking or running a marathon, right? It's good weather for when the sun starts to go down. It's lovely to sort of, sit by the pool and read a book or something, but not until the sun goes down. I'm kind of a crepuscular creature this time of year in the summers because it just gets so hot here. Oh, my G's are bad enough to make you say, oh geez. That's okay though. That's why, in fact, just proves that this book is a great opportunity for me to grow, right? If I started out with any talent whatsoever for this, it would be so much less gratifying if I ever get good at it. It's kind of like house flipper. It's much more fun when the house is a complete wreck. Taming the mess. What I was gonna say though, speaking of lucky, I feel very lucky to have some of the fun little conversations or interactions that we've been having on my community page, or on the channel community page. I don't think it was something that existed when I did YouTube before, and so it's kind of fun. I don't have traditional social media really, but this is sort of a nice in-between because it's given me the chance to just not only post like updates and stuff, but post sort of questions and things, and learn more about you guys, your personalities, and I've gotten some really cool and interesting recommendations and been reminded of, I was going to check out that movie, or some of you have given me cool book recommendations that I've already got, those books that I'm starting on. So thank you. If you guys enjoy that kind of interaction, I will do it, I don't know, sporadically. I think it's fun though, so if you enjoy it, or updates, or polls, or anything like that, I think if you subscribe to the channel, you get notifications when things go up on the community page. I'm not totally sure, but I think theoretically that's how it's supposed to work. So if you want to participate and enjoy just that kind of, I don't know, extracurricular hanging out or whatever, please come hang out on the community page sometimes. And like I said, if you subscribe, I think you can get notifications for it. Not that that it's Disneyland or anything. There's no tiki hut, but you know, it's chill. And yeah, I like getting to hear from you, especially since, you know, some of us have been kind of in this community together for so many years. So it's really fun to get just caught up. And you all make me laugh a lot in a good way. Right? A lot of you are really like funny and have very cool tastes in things. So I really enjoy it. I just finished for the second time reading Pale View of Hills by Kazuo Ishiguro, who is one of my favorite writers. One of my favorite contemporary writers, I should say. He feels sort of old world and speculative fiction-y and mysterious and tenebrious and cheeky and romantic and all these things. Like, his novels are so gauzy and strange and beautiful and frightening, and I love it. I had to read Pale View of Hills twice in a row. If you've read it, you might understand why. I don't know if I would call it so much of a twist as, I don't think calling it a twist does it justice. It's not really a twist. It's more a development or a fragility in the perspective or like faith and confidence we might have in the narrator. Anyway, it's really, really beautiful and troubling read, and it's not very long, so I read it once and I immediately just started it over again. It's kind of funny. I don't typically read books again and again unless sometimes if a new translation of a book comes out that is in a language that I don't speak, and sometimes I'll check out the new translation of something if I really love the work or whatever. Some things I'll go back and revisit, but I wonder if that's common with you all, if a lot of you are readers who sort of will read a book and then let it go, you know, because I kind of feel like there's so many books to read. I don't want to waste too much time rereading, but then, I don't know, rereading can be kind of delightful too. So, I wonder what kind of reader you are in that regard. If you read and reread, or if you try to just read as many new things as you can and don't really do many rereads. These Ks are fun. Kind of makes me want some special K though. Well, I had a history teacher who referred to Henry Kissinger as Special K, and now that's all I think about when I see that cereal. Sorry, this is just the ramblings of a mad woman at this point. That's all this ever is, huh? Okay, I'm gonna do the L's, and then maybe we'll wrap up. I am just really glad you all are here. I have such a nice time just spending time together, and relaxing. I hope some of you, tell me sometimes that you're struggling or having a tough week at work or dealing with hard stuff in life, and that you come to ASMR, to try to find respite from that. And I think that's so skillful. I do the same thing. I use, I've talked about it before. use ASMR to calm myself down, to stop my mind from wandering when I want to, sleep, or when I'm trying not to panic or something. So if you are here because you're having a hard time or something, I just want to tell you that I hope that the days ahead are gentle to you, and I think it's really strong and skillful to use ASMR as a way to try to flourish and to try to cope, because goodness knows there's enough harmful ways to cope out there. There's enough maladaptive ways to cope, and I think this is a really lovely one. So anyway, I'm glad you're here. And if you're happy and you're chill and you're relaxed, I'm very, very happy you're here too. So thanks for hanging out today. And like I said, if you know much about calligraphy and lettering, hand lettering, and you have any tips, tricks, anecdotes, or just want to share anything, I would be super curious and interested. But until then, I hope you guys just take care, and yeah, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you guys soon. Okay, bye. Is there a plane coming? I don't think there is a plane coming. Maybe there is. Maybe I should just start over. It's haunting me. Is a plane gonna come or not? It's like when you feel like you're gonna sneeze sometimes, but then you don't quite sneeze. Okay, I don't think a plane's coming, but I'm gonna start over anyway, so I don't have to cut it. So weird. Okay.